Well, Morris took to Twitter after the game saying, I played this game with a level of respect for myself and other players. To think I would try to injure somebody is crazy to me. 10 years going against the best. I stand on morals and hard work. I compete and leave it out there every game. He goes on to say, basketball has never been that serious to try to hurt somebody. I'm not apologizing for expletive because I know what I put into this game day in and day out. It was a mistake. Deal with it. Competing is why I play. All right, Nick, what was your reaction to this?
Yeah, I mean, listen, while I have not been covering the NBA for, I think Broussard said earlier in the show, as he has for 37 years. I'm not sure if that's the exact number. I think it's close. I have been covering Marcus Morris since he was at Kansas, and he's always been a borderline guy.
Oh.
As far as are we talking you play really tough or you're a little dirty? This is not borderline. And Marcus Morris can jump on Twitter and tweet to me all he wants saying I don't know him. Luka does, and Luka thinks it was intentional. That's obvious. Enes Kanter joined the show an hour ago. He's played you 24 times. He thinks it's intentional. You know who else thinks it's intentional? People with eyes. This is a made basket by the Clippers. Marcus Morris is outside of the three-point line. He takes 2 steps to his right, runs right at Luka, not to get in defensive position.
To
measure his steps up.
Nick.
To Brandon. The court,
You're going too far.
How many
You said
square
he
feet do we
takes
have
2
on the
steps to
court?
the left, and then he
targets
runs to
his
Luka's
injured ankle.
I believe him.
Because that's what happened.
Exactly what he tweeted, his statement after the game. This is not intentional. This guy is known to tell you how he feels and if he done something intentionally. So he's a man. He'll stand up and own it. He hasn't done that. I believe him. What you're saying is ridiculous. The guy, he barely stepped on Luka's ankle. I know you love Luka, but at the end of the day, you got to let Luka defend himself. Stop it. Stop it right now.
Broussard, when you saw this, honest, what's your immediate, it's not about Clippers, it's not about Luka. Broussard, when you saw this, knowing Luka's hurt, knowing Marcus Morris and his track record, where do you fall on this, Chris?
Look, I'm just going to say, I hate to accuse somebody of doing something this dirty. And I'm just thankful it didn't end up making Luka's injury worse. And especially when a guy defends himself so passionately on Twitter, I hate to accuse him of lying and that he did do it. But when you watch that, it's hard to come to another conclusion. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I mean, it looks like he takes an awkward
Chris.
step. It looks like he didn't break an extra long
Where's
step
the awkward
right
step?
there with the left foot.
Where?
No, of course he does. He measures
right
it up.
there with the left foot.
He measures him up.
He did.
Wow,
He
what do you
break
say?
strides.
Come on. I hate to say that about somebody, but
right.
and if you're in that position though, a lot of people tell lies like that. A lot of people, when their backs are against the wall,
People typically deny
lie.
crimes.
Right.
People typically deny crimes even when caught on video.
Jenna, I'm downgrading. Earlier in the show, I said 98%. It's been downgraded to 94% of believability, partially from what Broussard said. How vehemently he's denying it on Twitter. If it was a mistake, it's just like, sorry, mistake. Period. Done. Like 12 characters. But once you've got like multiple tweets of how it was a mistake, and like, the reason why I'm still at 94% believability is if Marcus Morris wants to send a message, he'll just do it. If we go back to a preseason game when he was with the Knicks, it's one of the great highlights in the history of the NBA that Marcus Morris is trying to create some space. And he throws some elbows. That doesn't get the message across. He's like, all right, now what's my other option? Bingo, right on the noggin. So if Marcus Morris wants to say he takes his mouthpiece out, you know you're serious to fight when you take your mouthpiece out. It's the opposite of boxing. He goes in, he takes it out to get ready to go.
That's why you believe him. A guy like this, if he wants to hurt you,
hold on.
he'll go right at you.
Wilds, I gotta ask a question because as much as I like Brandon, obviously it's only his third day, so I don't know him as well as I know everyone else on the set. so I don't know the answer to this.
Sure.
But Brandon, do you think this was intentional or this was a pump fake?
This is part of the game. Elbows,
Part of the game?
playing tough defense is a part of the game. Yes, stepping on
That's
someone's
not part of the
ankle,
game.
that's not a part of the game. And that's why he defended himself on Twitter so passionately, Wilds, because that's the worst thing you want to be associated with as a player, is a dirty player.
Broussard, you know, in your 47 years of covering the league, the number just keeps on going up. You called yourself a dinosaur earlier. This has been really backfiring you when you called Nick a young analyst. Jalen and Kobe famously, after the game, they didn't go to like Jalen. Jalen's like, yeah, I did it. Of course not. We did an interview with Kobe and Tracy's talking about he had a bad back before the game. Kobe takes down the rebound, blam, 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 right in the back. Like, it is part of the game. The truth is not necessarily told right after the game, but if you give it 10 years, and I could see Marcus Morris being like, yeah, you know, I didn't try to avoid the ankle, and it slowly grows.
No, a lot of times, like if a guy's got a
much.
bad wrist, he's got a jammed thumb or something, you will hit down on that ball and, make it worse. But this, to me, this went to a whole nother level because obviously the game's out of hand. And it looks like he was trying to hurt him. Now, again, I hesitate to go against Marcus Morris like this because he did defend it passionately. And if he did it on purpose, it is terrible. But I don't. It's hard
like perfect timing.
He did when he took that extra step.
If he did do it on purpose, which we're not going to know, Nick, worthy of a suspension, a play like this?
No. Of course. You can't. If you target an injured player's ankle outside of, coming down for a rebound, guys, they changed the entire rules to avoid what happened to Kawhi. Like, and Luka it shouldn't matter if you're a star or not, but we all know it matters more if you're a star, if you're another team's best player. Kawhi's entire career in San Antonio was altered by Zaza putting his foot underneath him. And by the way, that was a dirty-ass play by Zaza. And I think maybe Zaza should have got a Twitter account. Maybe Zaza should have been out there vehemently denying things. My goodness, the vehement denials carry a lot of weight with this panel. Like, folks deny all the time. I'm Italian. One of the top credos I learned when I was 7 years old. 3 rules. Deny, deny, deny. Especially when you're wrong. Especially when you're on video. The court,
Marcus Morris, quick twitch muscles. Marcus Morris, quick twitch muscles, and his coordination must be the best we've ever seen. Luka steps, Marcus steps perfectly. Times it perfectly.
What?
Oh, he did it on purpose. Come on, look at it.
He didn't do
Wait,
it.
Broussard,
He's the best athlete I've ever
get a
seen.
suspension for this?
No.
Will the league take a look?
Absolutely not.
Broussard?
No.
I think they can look at it, but
absolutely
unless
not.
they can prove it definitively was on purpose, I don't think he'll get the suspension. But I think it's worth looking at.
They give guys flagrant fouls. Hold on. They give guys flagrant fouls for things they don't know if they're on purpose or not, first of all. Like with the new rule on if you gave a guy room to land. Again, you can call it circumstantial, and I'll leave it at this. But there is one player in the game who has an injured left ankle. Or an injured ankle. There is one player in the game who has a history dating back to college of this type of stuff. There is one spot on the court where that injured left ankle is. And that other player on a 5,000 square foot basketball court just happens to amble over after a made basket with the ball not in play to pick up Luka 94 feet in a 30-point game. Okay. All right, sweet. I hope all y'all are on my jury when I get accused of something on video, because evidently all I have to do is look into the camera and say, I'm serious, mister. I'd never do it. I'm a good guy. And everyone believes me. It's unbelievable.
You better watch out for Marcus.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.